Testing. Microphone. If you are watching this, hopefully you can hear it. Let me know in the comment maybe or something. I don't really care. All right. Should be good to go. Once I let this person in. Come on. All right, sweet. Welcome to my intro to Web Exploitation workshop. This is, let me make this full screen so it doesn't look weird. 1 sec. Where's the present button? Is that it? Yes, sir. You may now take your, now the streamers see the little edited thing, so it's not going to work either, is it? How do I cancel this? Escape. Pretend we haven't started yet. View. There's a button which presents it, right? That's a thing. Strong start. Home, maybe. Present, maybe. That one shows for the streamers. It doesn't work though, because I have a special view, and since I'm streaming my screen, it doesn't work. So I just need to make it full screen. Oh, no, never mind. Not that. Oops.
I don't use PowerPoint enough to do this.
That one, it could be a setting within that one if we press that button. No, that present button. But then for the
no, this is he has notes.
So that won't work. Because then all the streamers see it. So all I need is for it to be full screen. I don't have any notes. It's just I don't want the people online to have to see that.
See which?
See the this view. Maybe I can just. Is there a button to make it to hide these notes? Display settings, maybe.
Oh, duplicate. Yeah, there you go. Sorry.
Okay.
I wasn't sure.
We may now begin. Welcome to my intro to Web Exploitation workshop. My name is Artemy Gavrilov. I'm a second-year student, and this is my second month in the club. So this is my first workshop. I've got some background in computer science, and I worked as a dev, but this is all pretty new to me too, which is good because it makes it more interesting, but bad because I'm not going to be able to answer as many of your questions. Luckily, there's some other execs here, which could hopefully help out if you guys are way smarter than me. We will start with attendance, which I don't know if you guys take, and I think I might need to take it, but I'll do that later. It's kind of weird that I have to take my own attendance. Tools needed. So hopefully Kali Linux. Even if you don't, there's still a lot you can do. Probably 80% of this presentation can be done just from your regular browser on your Microsoft or Apple device. I'm not sure about Apple actually. But then within Kali, you should have Chromium, curl, and dirb all default, installed by default. However, if at any point you don't, sudo apt update and sudo apt install Chromium, curl, dirb. At any point, if you're having some issues, give that a run. Maybe it'll fix something. I'll maybe go back to the attendance at the end for anyone that needs to take it, but I think we should be good to start. Intro to Web Exploitation for the third time, Artemy Gavrilov. And so first thing is challenge flags. I don't know how many of you are new and how many of you have been here before, but a challenge flag is sort of a placeholder for some quote-unquote piece of sensitive data that you might find on some website that you're trying to break into. In our case, obviously we're good hackers, so we're just doing it for fun. And those are our challenge flags. These are how you score points. They look like that. In fact, if you are on the Discord and you happen to know how the Orchid bot works, then you can even try this one out. It's a little bit of a freebie for you guys if you're looking to rack up your points for the term. And anyway, the whole point of this workshop and a lot of the other workshops is how to get these flags. We're going to go through about 5 methods. Web architecture, which is how a website's built and how you can kind of dig around in there. HTTP requests, which is a little bit of insight on the networking side of things and communicating with the server. Hidden directories, which we'll get into, their hidden directories, I guess. Cookies, and user agents, which I also didn't know were a thing until a few months ago. So let us begin with web architecture. Here you see a sort of typical JavaScript-based website, and you've got your front end over on this sort of, client server side. This is the code that you actually see, and that is going to communicate all the way to the database to get the info that you need so that your websites work. Now we're going to dig into this a little bit here. basic web structure. There's 3 types of files that you'll see when you are, that basically make up a website, at least the part of it that you can see and interact with. These 3 are HTML, I'm sure you've heard of that before, CSS, and JavaScript. These 3 files, they work together and they get sent to your computer in order to create the web page. And then the browser, which is like your Chrome, your Opera, whatever, that's going to turn it into pixels and make it look nice. We'll start up with HTML. This is the structure. You know, you've got the top bar at the top, and you've got, you know, a button over in the top left, and this in the middle, and this in the bottom left, and it just sort of lays out the frame for you to actually put your content into, and we'll go into that a bit more. You can also stick stuff like images and links in there and whatnot. It's kind of like the meat of it for the most part in terms of what you actually see. And CSS makes it all pretty and glamorous by adding cool fonts and colors, and it can make like your lines round and fun stuff like that that makes things look like they're not from the 90s. Finally, we have JavaScript, which is all the logic. HTML lets you press a button, and JavaScript will do something when that button is pressed. These are done through scripts, which if any of you taken a comp sci class, well, basically just some code, you know, if press button, then load page, etc. And there's 2 ways to kind of access this. And one is if it's its own file, then you can reference the JavaScript just like this inside your HTML, and it will load it up and use that. Or you can just put it straight into the HTML and it still works, but it kind of looks weird to have 2 languages in one file. Here's a quick example of what CSS might do to your website. As you can see, it looks bad and then it looks good. Fairly simple. Colors, fonts. And now we will start getting into our flags. Now you've only got really 3 file types that you need to look out for when you're looking at the meat of a website. Once again, you've got the HTMLs, the meat, and then you've got the CSS and the JavaScript. Now, the flags can be really in any one of these. And in this example here, it will show you a link to the CSS file. So I don't know, I'm going to have to like crouch under here, but you've got a link thing, which you will learn to look out for. I don't know. Just look at that thing. Yeah. You got a link, and it links, it connects, link, great. CSS style sheet, that's your CSS file. Flags can be in the HTML, they can be in the CSS, sometimes in the JavaScript, but it's harder to get to. And finally, you get to do something on your own. Have any of you ever inspected elements as like a 6th grader and changed the Google logo to like Google, and then like panicked because you thought you like broke Google and you're gonna get arrested? Don't worry about it. But you now have the, well, yeah, Control-Shift-I is gonna be your default on Chrome. And the other option is to use curl in your Linux command line if you're using Kali, of course. And that will let you do similar tasks. But for the purpose of accessibility, for those of you who don't have that with you, I'm just going to show the inspect element. So our first, well, I'm sure most of you have seen it. Can I access my browser? I can. How lovely. Let's go to Google. Oh, that's an infinite screen. Sorry, everyone online. Google.com. And here we go. Lots of information, as you can see. Lots of links, like we were talking about here, to different things. One thing that you can do is you can hover over things and see what they are. Oh, like we got the Google logo. Let's take a look at that. That's in here. And here's the source code to the Google logo right here. Now, what happens if I edit as HTML? And if I just copy this Google logo here, I'm not sure if this will work, but let's try and just put that link over above our Google. Enter. Sure enough, we've got our Google logo. And this is an example of a link to a directory. Google has all this data, and then what we just did is we access Google/images on their server /branding/Google logo /2text and Google logo, etc. And all the files are kind of going to be held in these sort of directories. You can visualize them as trees. And I didn't really picture websites like that for a while, but like a website really is the same as your typical document that you've got in your file explorer on your computer. And I found that visualizing it like that kind of helped me be able to kind of have the right mindset to look for things. For example, we've got this Google logo. It's got a 2x here. I wonder if they've got a 4x. Nope, they don't have a 4x. I wonder if they have a 1x. Oh, they do. Would you look at that? So I didn't know this link existed, but as you can see, we just kind of went to a different file path and they've got the same thing. All right, back to my presentation. So this doesn't take too long. Backend. We will not be able to dig into this all that much right now because backends are very well protected, and this is, and I have no idea. Like, I don't know if anyone can actually do that. But the backend is what's going to basically deal with what you do as a user on the front end. You know, you ask for data, I ask for that 1x Google image, and it's going to, before it can get me that, the backend needs to register that. It needs to ask for the image from the database, and then it gets sent back and receives it and processes it and displays it and lots of other stuff. But we don't need to know as much about it. Just know it exists, and yeah, it exists. Okay, now our first challenge. We are going to be utilizing inspect element and basically digging around. You're going to go to this link, which I have here. I don't know, is this supposed to be like copied in the Discord or something? Probably not. If it's easier for you guys, but I mean, you can always just type it in. It takes a minute. And you're going to go to this website. You're going to see that example Apollo website that we saw from before. What we're going to do is you're going to go into your inspect element and dig around. Look at a few of the files and see if you can recognize any of those flags. The USEC with curly braces, something in the middle. Every time you find one, again, you can put it into ORCID. And for this challenge, although there might be more later, for the time being, you should only be able to get 3. If you can get more, then you already know this workshop. So, while you are doing this, I guess, do I go around? And yeah, sweet. All right. I will try and keep an eye on the comments online as well. Let me know if anything pops up. Yeah. All right, I'll be back for those of you online in according to this 15 minutes, but we'll see if you guys are fast. Hello again to those of you online. I'm just about to go through it here. So if you would like, then it should take only a few minutes. Sweet. Okay. So to start, I'm gonna take a quick look at the site, see if there's any like buttons to other pages, anything like that. But we don't really. Oh, I noticed that flag at the bottom, a little 9cat GIF flying across. I don't know if any of you guys saw that. There's a proper way to get it, and then a cheating way to get it. The cheating way is to take a screenshot, which I was recently shown by our friend here, and then but we're gonna go through the intended method over in our. Oh, as we open inspect element, assuming that our body is open here, off the bat, I can see our first flag. The moon is made of cheese. This is 1 out of 4 because there's a fourth one that we'll get later. Shouldn't be able to do now. Anyway, so there's our one, and what you could do is you could spend some time expanding the rest of this. There might even be a button to expand all, and then another thing you could do is you could Control F search for USEC. UCSEC, my bad. And as we can see in this file, this is the only one here. Just this moon is made of cheese. So we're going to have to dig a little further. I'm going to go back to the start to where I mentioned that link. And we can see a few links up here. None of them seem to be the styles. Oh, here we have the link to the style sheet, which will bring us to this file right around here. And we can, well, we can't open it. Maybe we can open it from here, but I don't know how. But I'm going to go into sources, which will show me the various files that are here. Here we've got our CSS files, and sure enough, our styles.css sheet. Here we've got all the colors. If you want to have fun, you can like mess with the website a little bit. I don't know. I find it fun sometimes. And sure enough, at the bottom of the style sheet, we've got our second flag. By the way, if even if you're not doing the ORCID points thing, you can always like copy these down if you ever want to redeem them later. If you do get into that, that's just like a point system. The more flags you get, the more points you get. And I don't think there's any prize, but it's fun. So, is there a prize? Oh, there is a prize. Maybe. I wasn't participating, but maybe. Am I allowed? Oh, okay. Never mind. My bad. I guess that makes sense. And then, okay, so back to the workshop. I can do a fake name, but all right. We got some more files, and I mean, we know that 9cat was an image, so we figure, maybe she'll be down here. We've got here we've got our Nyan GIF, but that doesn't seem to have the flag intrinsically, although it is pretty cool that it is there. So take a look around. That's just the ship there. We got Apollo 11 and the crew. So where could it be? What's this down here? We got an index, which was just the HTML file that I had at the start. So that doesn't actually give us much. We got a tag here. Now, where can we find that Nyan GIF? I am trying to remember right now. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, I did? Okay. See, I just assumed that it was the only one. Oh, yeah, okay. As we can see, when I Control F, UC set, we actually had 2 results, and I was just a little blind. So if we go to the second one, sure enough, we've got our Nyan flying through space, our third flag for the time being. Yeah, that's. We shall continue now, unless you guys have any questions regarding this. Yes, sir. Oh, I right-clicked on one of these uppermost arrows, and I clicked expand recursively here. And that just, there's probably a shortcut for it too. And honestly, looking through everything's a pain, so I would recommend Control F. But it's there if you need it. Sweet. I'll leave this open in the background, although I'll refresh it because I messed with like the width of the site. So, all right, back to our presentation here. Now that we've got that, we may continue to part 2. I should probably hurry it up. Geez. All right, HTTP requests and response codes. This is the communication between the server and oh, well, actually, no, just like the front end JavaScript and the front end, like, whatchamacallit? Well, but yeah, the server, whatever. And we've got, so there's different methods that they can communicate. The most common three are your get, post, and head type communication, I guess. And they mean what they mean. For example, your HTML or your JavaScript file might ask to get something from the server, and it'll send a big thing, and the whole HTTPS protocol will happen, and there's a bunch of complicated stuff, which there might even be a workshop on, I don't know. But it gets you what you want, an image, for example, the 9cat, the text, well, basically everything. Post sends something to the server. This is if you're updating your Instagram profile picture, or you're typing in your password and it needs to send it there to authenticate it. Anytime you're giving information out, that is post. And head is just a quick little, gives you like a little preview of the site. It's usually available publicly to whoever wants to request it, and it'll tell you, like the title of the site and maybe like a quick description if they've added it, but nothing too useful. Well, sometimes there can be a flag in there. I'm not sure, maybe. And then you've got a few more, which we don't really need to get into, but most of them are pretty much the same. Put is like the same as post, but it creates something or it replaces it if it already exists. Patch is an update. Delete deletes. Options I've never used, honestly, and trace is for debugging. I don't know what option is, but whatever. Oh, it's just like a help if you ever type like help somewhere in your command line. All right, and then the response code. So this is your request, and then the server will give you a response, which for some reason is a number from 200 to 500. The 200 range is successes, 300 is redirection, 400 you did something wrong, 500 server's busted. And like there can be a lot of things that I guess go wrong or go right. And here are the details of the codes. 200 is okay, you did great. The resource was there. You asked for the right link. The server isn't burning. No one's, computer still exists, and it knows where to send it to. You did it. And hopefully most of the time this will happen. If you ever loaded up a web page, this has happened. 301, not too common as well, but basically, a website's changed, and instead of deleting the old stuff, they just said, oh, we'll just redirect them if they get here. So usually it'll still work. If you hit a 304, they just sent you somewhere else to ideally the correct data. 304, oh, sorry, that was 301, my bad. 304 is, this one is, so your browser does a lot of things to optimize your computer. For example, if you load a page, for a little while, it'll save all those images that you've loaded in the browser so that if you come back there, it doesn't need to do that whole process of requesting it and getting a whole image or video sent back again. So it'll just have it stored in your browser. It's already there. It's just like, okay, here you go. So yeah, you got the same data as before. You don't need to get it from the internet again. 403 is you don't have permissions. Really simple. There can actually be a lot of reasons that you're unauthorized to do something, but usually it means that they don't want you. Google doesn't want you seeing all of its image data naturally. Like some are public for Google, like Google Images, but I'm sure they've got things like employee photos and lots of other website stuff that they don't want available to the public. 404 is you messed up. Usually you typed in the wrong thing, or if you've ever tried to access any of UCalgary's websites, then you will see that they messed up and they put a link that no longer exists. I have no idea why it's so bad. It's like every other link that I press though. 418 was a little April Fool's joke back in '98, which I have heard was used in a capture the flag at some point, which is a competition for finding flags. Maybe you guys know that. Apparently used as well in 2014. I've never ran into this, but who knows? 500 server messed up something inside the server. It's just like, oh, well, it didn't work. Here's a 500. And 503 is if you're down for maintenance, if it's actually like gone, like nuked out of the world, then actually it might give you a 500 then. No, it would give you a 503 because the server's not there. Usually maintenance. This I hate, and hopefully I won't make you look at it for too long, but this is a GET request and a response. This is some data. This is sort of like your header, and this is the web page put in a nicely formatted massive block of text, which is completely unreadable. But if you look closely, you'll see it's like actually HTML. You got your header, you've got some link here, you got an icon, an image, whatever. What else do you have? More images, but it looks like this. Well, okay. Anyway, it's the website, but in a giant block of code. We'll go over the specifics of this guy up here in this slide. First line, status. This is the numbers we were talking about. 200, okay, it means great. If it's 404, then you know something bad happened. You probably won't have any of this either. You've got your, these are your headers, which are your basic data that you're going to get. You don't need to know much of it, but you've got your server. It's all pretty like self-explanatory. Your dates, your content type. That's like, are you loading text? Are you loading an image, a video, a blog? I don't know, whatever it is. How big the thing is that you're getting, when it was last modified, cache content. Anyway, usually won't come into play unless somehow someone can hide a flag into the header. I'm not sure how that would work, but it's just some basic info you'll get. Cookies are also listed. That's your cache control, I believe, is cookies. Cache control is cookies? No? Okay. Yeah, but they are listed in the headers as well, probably in cache control. But and then you've got the body, which is the actual content, the image, the text, whatever. CTF information. This is some of the actual techniques that you'll be using. Well, you already kind of learned one, but more in depth, more getting flags. Hidden directories. This is a little bit like that Google image that I brought up earlier, where I could see the link to the Google image. And I mean, it wasn't really a hidden directory because I'm sure it's available to the public. But the way you can think of that is there's a path like we saw with the Google image. And there's going to be a lot of paths that you're not going to be able to directly get to unless you try all the paths, get a really lucky guess, know someone that works for Google, etc. And there's a few ways to try and get to these paths that you're not really supposed to know. Like pretend that 1x Google image was a hidden directory. It wasn't really, but same idea where I put in a different thing into the path and something popped up. One of these that usually isn't available to you directly through a website, but exists on most websites out there is a robots.txt file. This file it tells search engines what web crawlers can't request. What a web crawler is basically something that'll scan your whole code and look for keywords within any of your code. For example, I got this one example where let's say you've got this recipe for muffins, and way at the bottom you've actually got a link to a cult worshiping them, and you don't want this really available to the public, but it still needs to be discreet. So what you might do is you go to your robots.txt file, and you can disallow anything that's on that specific on a specific page to be accessed. Let's say that link goes to your cult page, and you don't want Google to show your muffin recipe when they look for cults. So you're going to put /strawberry muffin /cult. And Google will not look for that when it is doing its whole search engine thing. And lots of these. Yeah, so this is uCalgary's, for example. I'm not entirely sure what their logic is, but I mean, some of them make sense. Like they don't want people to know about, our team. Maybe if you search up a name of someone that works there. I don't know. But anyway, for some reason, UC does not want Google to be looking through these to make them pop up. Now what we're going to try is to go back to our first site and take a look at the /robots.txt file. So you're just going to go to the same link, and at the end, type /robots.txt. Yeah, that's it. You guys can try that. Maybe you'll find another flag. Who knows? Well, I mean, it says to do it, If you load it up and don't see it. Forgot to unmute there. Sorry for those of you online. So what I've done is I've just thrown robots.txt on the end of our file, and we can see that, in fact, we are disallowing a certain site. We are disallowing Google to look at our site /area51.html. Now, back to the hidden directories thing, it's kind of funny that we have this because we didn't see any area51.html when we were looking in our code or even in inspect element. So not only, so there can be a flag in the robots.txt itself, I think. However, what the robots.txt gives you is a lot of potential hidden directories that you might have not known about. Yes.
You're saying that disallow wasn't there? We find it in inspect element.
I don't think so. No, disallow, it doesn't really affect us. It just affects the web crawlers. But so.
If I remember correctly, it's to stop also web scrapers from accessing the website.
Did I explain that well? I'm not, or okay.
Yeah, basically, search engines can't find it. It can't come up with your results.
Yeah.
On the search engine.
Okay. Yeah. Search engines can't find it. That's a much quicker way of saying what I said for the last 10 minutes. So we know that that's there. Naturally, we're going to take a look at what it is. So we know that we can't go here, or that, sorry, that this can't show up on Google, which is interesting for sure. So I'm just gonna go back to our link and paste it right in the top. Oh, we've got a double slash there, and we will see what this comes up with. Sure enough, we've got a hidden directory here. We've got our little alien, and this part of the website that we weren't supposed to find, but robots.txt helped us. So we had no idea this was here from inspect element or anything else, but sure enough, it exists. There you go. And here you've got your forward flag. It's kind of hard to read green on black, so you guys can do it on your own as well. Copy it. I'll give you a minute to grab that if you want. Actually, you know how to do it. You just put area51.html at the end of the link to get the flag. Now, this was kind of a stroke of luck because if this hidden directory was not in the robots.txt file, we would have no idea that we should look for it and no idea that we could put it in. And so you might ask, how are we supposed to get to it then? And one answer is pure brute force. You're going to try not every single directory combination, but we've got, well, why don't I just go back to the presentation? It's the next slide. What do we do? Use derp. So it is a web content scanner. So what it'll do is it'll take a text file of a bunch of commonly used directory names, things like, I don't know, /dev, or, I mean, we can see the words list itself. And we're going to head over to Kali in a second here. But it'll just sequentially test like all of them together until it hits. And this can take a really long time. But we're going to give it a try and hope that we don't run out of... we'll take a look. We'll use so to find these word lists, if we go to our Kali Linux, which hopefully some of you at least have. If not, I guess you can just look. I got to log in here. We'll head on over to our directories. Hello. This does not look happy. Why is it all? Oh, is it clashing with the streaming service? Do you reckon? My Kali doesn't seem very happy. It's black. Yeah, sure. It's just like a visual thing. Yeah. No, let me cancel it. No, whatever. I realized that as I did it. Anyway, you may launch your Kali, and while this closes, I'll bring back that word list, which is /user/share/wordlist/derp. If you don't have this, you can also Google common web content scanner word lists. Is that how you find it? Probably. I'm sure there's lots online. So, Kali? Okay, Kali successfully died. Can I like start? No, yeah, whatever. Let's see. Anyway, well, that works. How many of you have Kali by raise of hands potentially to see how many people can do this? All right, see, that's a pretty decent amount. Wow. And you guys, well, have any of you tried to locate the word lists under user share word list derp? You will need them. So go to your directory and look for that. Okay, let me try a harder reset here. Power off the machine. All right. Once you have access to the word list, if you got there, could you raise your hands? Yeah, just like found the file in general. I'll give it like I'll do another minute here, or you can Google one if you want. Oh, I guess it's still here. Sorry. Get or Kali. Let's see. I force fed it, killed it. Yeah. Fresh start. Oh, it's promising. It's not all black. Oh Jesus. Okay. Do I want it to capture? All right, that's going to take another minute as well. Let me go back to this. So once you've got your word list, or at least the location of it, you can start to use derb. This is a lengthy process, so I would recommend hopefully starting it now. What you're going to do is put in derb into your command line. Then you're going to put in the website, which is in our case. Oh, I should probably put the website up on this here. Let me copy this quick and throw it here so that you guys can see it. And go back to presentation mode and display settings. And okay, there you go. There's the site. So you're going to type in derb, HTTP 167.99, whatever, space, and then the path to your word list. So that's user, char, word list, derb, small, ideally. Big is going to take ages. And then that will start the lengthy process, which I will, let's see, there we go. I'm going to do it too as well, because this one takes a while. There's a lot of Discord notifications. Are those for me? No? Okay. This is unfortunate. Let me, oh, man. Okay. Bring this back up. Callie is struggling. All right, I'll leave this up for you guys to try. Yeah, here you go. I'm going to mute while you guys give this a shot. I'm just going to mute here. All right, so this is going to take a while, so I'm just going to continue the slides, and then we'll come back to it once the search is done. So, part 4, cookies. Once again, what are cookies? It's just data that's stored on your local computer from the website for the convenience of load times, and I mean that's the biggest one really, just so that every time you load up a web page, you don't need to get the data fresh. Cookies allow the website to save data on your computer. Now, the only issue with storing data locally on the computer is that us as users, we can edit that data. So that means that's potential exploitation from cookies. You know, a website will send you, you'll access a website, it'll give you some cookies. Maybe it's some sensitive data, and all of a sudden you have access. Cookies are yours to control. So again, this can be authentication data, which is bad for the security of the website and good for us because we get flags. Same with tracking IDs, saved form data. You know, if a form says you're not authorized, you can save it in cookies. Might be able to change that up. So back to inspect element. This is kind of a confusing thing, but hopefully it looks something like this. What you're going to do is when you've got inspect element, you're going to go to the application tab up here. And then you got cookies, you can expand that. And for whatever, there's going to be lots here probably, but for whatever website that you're on, these are your cookies. And they look pretty confusing, but this is their name. This is the data they hold. I think in this case, it's just storing the dates that you've accessed them. And I don't know what these are, but again, those are your results. So improper cookie configuration can lead to vulnerabilities. So if you're making a website and you're storing cookies, make sure that you're not giving the user any power to modify that data. If it's anything sensitive, if it's anything that's going to be sent back to the website, and update anything, or of course, if it is a password or authentication data. Now, we are going to try again with this link, but before we do that, can anyone update me on the progress of their previous DERB search? Anyone finished? No, not finished? Still going? Alrighty, we will continue then. In a new tab, you may attempt this. So I will, once you get this link, which is, I think they're all the same, you just put 8081 at the end, so you can just copy your old links. And once again, I'll leave this guy open for you so that you can take a look. You've got your application, you're going to expand cookies, and here's the data. And take a look at the website, dig around a bit. I'll give you, for the sake of time, I'll give you like 5 minutes to try and get to the flag that is there. Yeah, I think there's one. There might be two, maybe 2 flags. But anyway, I'll bring that link up for you. Best of luck. It's 5 minutes. All right. So I'm gonna head on over to this website and just maybe start working on it a bit. You can keep working on your own if you like. I'm just gonna be here, see what I can do. So 8081. Got a login page. Might just try it. Hello. Password. So not an admin. Let me take a look at my cookies. Application, cookies, and we've got these things here. Now we've got a password, you've got an admin boolean, a username, and a session ID. And I'm just gonna leave it at that for a minute. If any of you haven't got it, like this is how you get to this point. You need to try logging in once, and then your cookies will pop up. Any of these values you can change, by the way. I can change my username to that, for example. And before I continue, anyone that's gotten the flag, could you raise your hands? Okay, yeah. So most of us have. Okay, so I'm pretty good to just share. Yeah, our basically with editing cookies because we can. This admin value is what determines on this website whether or not we're an admin. So simply changing that to true. Does that need to be caps? Okay, sweet. And then if I refresh this, then sure enough, it grabbed our cookies from our browser, which I cannot find this time. It saw that we are an admin. I think it refreshed them now. But anyway, here's our next key. Cookies are a good bite. Congrats. Okay, we're almost done. Really sorry. Any progress on Derb? Is it done? Jesus Christ. All right. Well, I don't know. I was having the same issue. I really don't know what the problem is on that website.
I think it's just everyone is derping at the same time.
That could be something. I mean, mine took like a good 15 too.
Their traffic seems to be fine, so I'm not sure.
All right. Anyway, we shall.
Just a hint for the derb challenge, you can like derb as derb. Like if you find a directory, you can derb it again. You find like it's within there. So.
Right. Okay. I guess yeah. What Delara just mentioned for all of us, Derb will find you a. Oh, yes, I think so. Yes, I am unmuted. Great. Anyway, one more thing is that oh well, no, this is the same thing. Don't use cookies as variables to check for user privileges, because anyone can get user privileges. Yeah, we'll come back to Derb at the very end, I guess, if it even ever finishes. So we got user agents. I have no idea why they're called that, to be honest, but it is like a piece of information that your computer has and your browser has, and it's just like it's sort of like the browser's like license plate. I don't know, not license plate, but like an identity. Yeah, it says that there, doesn't it? Oh no, it doesn't. Yeah, so it's the identity of the browser. It's got a few details in it, but we'll go over that in a second. But one of them is like your operating system. It'll tell you if you're on Windows or not. A vendor, which is I still am not fully sure what a vendor is, honestly, but it has the vendor. And then it has your browser version. So like Mozilla, Firefox, whatever. And it tells the website what device you're using. For example, if you're on a phone, it'll tell the website that you're on a phone so that the website knows to show you a phone website and not a computer website. Now, it will look something like this. This is, Mozilla. I think that's like standard, but you got your system information. Yeah, Mozilla will always be there. System information, your like browser, platform, Apple WebKit, platform details, another thing, and extensions, which are those. Now, you do not have to understand each of these variables, but you should know that each browser has its own specific user agent. Your mobile Safari browser will have its own, or accessing, using Internet Explorer will have its own. And depending on what computer you're on, what type of computer, operating system, I guess, it'll have its own. And this can be used potentially, if you want to see what a website looks on a phone, but you're on your computer, you could copy a phone user agent from the internet and spoof it. And then you're allowed, I don't know why you'd want to do that, but now the website thinks you're on a phone and it'll show you a little vertical screen with like pressable buttons and stuff. Anyway, Googlebot, which relates back to robots.txt. And what this is basically, what is it? Oh, it's another user agent, I guess, which prevents Google's web crawler from accessing certain sites. And it's same thing as we were going, but this is it will search for a user agent and disallow it. So as you can see here, this user agent here, it's got Googlebot here, and thus it would oh yeah, you can disallow it. Did I say that right? No, you can.
You can disallow certain things based on certain users.
Yeah. Okay. So if you don't like Mozilla users, you can block them.
Exactly.
Well, I guess all of them are, but like there you go. Like if you want to block Internet Explorer, it'll probably never load the page anyway. But okay. Anyway, now this is how you spoof your user agent. It's another complicated thing, which is probably different on Firefox. So I might get Dan to explain that. But for this one, you go to those three little buttons in the top right, then you click More Tools, then you click Network Conditions, and then you've got your user agent page, in which case you can uncheck Select Automatically. I'm about to go off this page, next slide, so I highly recommend, I'll give you like 30 seconds now to find this. And this will just be on, oh, well, I need to give you the new site first. So put in this site, and then I'll go back. Same link with a 2 at the end. So yeah, you can go ahead. I was just going to show them the link and then go back. It was just like A2 at the end, I guess. Okay, whatever. Anyway, to access your user agents, you can look here. Almost done here. Let me do this. There you go. Now you can see both. So your current challenge is on this site. You are going to take a look at, this new link. You're going to read what the website says, and then you're going to see what you can do about your user agent to try and find the flag. Once again, your user agent tells you what browser you're on, and I will give you a little bit of a hint as well before you try for this flag. This flag may require you to Google some things because user agents are complicated to know, and you might need to grab one from the internet in order to solve this. I'll give you your last 10-ish minutes. Oh, I'll mute myself. All right. A quick note to the viewers online. Our website is currently experiencing major. Oh, it's back up, but also possibly stop your derbs because they probably won't finish. Oh, Jesus. Just and yeah, our site's not doing too hot right now. So, hey, I'm gonna stop showing you an infinite screen. Okay, I'll do a quick run through it. I feel like most of you probably got it. However, the solution is you're going to take a look at the website. You see that it only likes Netscape 7.2 for whatever reason. So what we can do is we can go online and straight up just Google Netscape 7.2 user agent. And looks like the first link before useragentstring.com seems to be a pretty reliable one. And right up here, this is it. This is the user agent for Netscape 7.2. So since this site only likes 7.2, we're going to try and pretend to do that. Try and pretend to be that. We're here, more tools. Geez, I forget. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And here we've got our user agent, unclick default, and here we can put in, oh, I already have Netscape 7.2 on in, but sweet, and we can just try that again, and sure enough, it thinks we're Netscape 7.2, and here is our flag. Okay, so derp did not appear to work. However, I can tell you what would happen in theory if we had 3 hours. It would eventually try all those combinations in that text file, and I believe it would find 2 hidden directories, which honestly, I don't have them off the top of my head. That makes me concerned. Okay, wonderful. Can you say that again? Accounts? Oh, content? Yep. Devs? Okay, sorry. Devs. Oh, sure enough, here we found, well, ideally Derb would have found this, and you could go take a look. And here we've got a little flag, which here we go. This is sort of like a DDoS. This is a perfect example. We actually DDoS the website through the process of derbing it. This is very, very educational. Yeah. So here we've, I'm trying to figure out how you guys can get all like this flag without having to manually copy it. Well, you might have to put in content applet dev and then go to flags.txt. If you can remember that, or if you can read the top bit. And then we've got our parent directory, which, oh, yeah, is forbidden. Do we oh, yeah?
Only on this one. Just do it later. Just do it like tomorrow. At some random time.
Okay.
Space out your dirt.
Everyone, yeah, you can do a derp if you like, but just for the sake of, if you want the flag, you can, I don't know, put in your notes like, or content / applet / devs. And I mean, yeah, this is your chance to get the flag, because I don't know if the workshop ends and you don't have it, then you might not have it. So hopefully I will give app time for everyone to get their hands on it. There it is again, if you just want to take a picture. But anyway, maybe fortunately, we'll see. Basically, that's it. So you've learned a few techniques on how to try and get flags out of some websites, and I am here for any questions. Thank you so much for listening. Yep. Boy. If you haven't taken attendance, do I have to take attendance? Okay, lovely.
So we have a voting, like AGM, at the end of every year, and if you attend our workshop, half of our workshop, you'll be able to vote. If you don't, you won't be able to vote. AGM, but we also like to know how many people attend, and if like this workshop is very useful and people like to attend them. So it's nice if you could fill out attendance.
Yeah, it also helps with sponsors, you guys. Yes, you want to provide a lot more prizes and any other thing that money can get us.
For those of you online,
You, it helps a lot.
But-
It can help fund us to get better droplets, so it doesn't crash when the curve is
Yeah.
I don't know if the mic caught that. So basically, please do attendance because it gives us more money, which gives you more prizes. All the money goes to you. We're not paid. I should have. And infrastructure.
It's primarily for voting.
But also for voting.
It's primarily for voting.
Primarily for voting. Okay.
100% of the money that the club gets goes back into the club. We get nothing. Like as execs, we get nothing. 100% of it goes back into workshops, into events, into our CTF. 100% of it goes back to our
I guess I'll just sit here for a little while. Do I end the stream or do I just leave this here for like 10 minutes?